Alright, boys. Time to go down another rabbit hole. This time it's the rabbit hole of the manosphere, of the red pill community. And more precisely of Richard Cooper, the unofficial leader of the manosphere at the moment. Now, I went down this rabbit hole a couple of days ago thanks to this channel, Black Pill Truth, which is a compilation of short video clips exposing the shysters in the manosphere. And it was these three clips in particular that caught my attention. These three clips with Richard Cooper. And after watching this one, I was immediately reminded of an interview I once watched, conducted by Richard Cooper with a male porn star. And I watched it earlier this year, I think. And something that Richard said in that interview really rubbed me the wrong way. And that's why I remembered it very well. And I was immediately reminded of that after watching this short clip. And after all the discoveries I made while going down that rabbit hole, and I was sent down that rabbit hole again by this clip in particular, I decided to do a video about this. Because there is two things I despise in humanity. And by humanity I mean men, of course. Shysters and jester maxers. And I discovered that Rich is a jester maxing shyster. The most despicable creature to crawl the face of the earth. And it's time to expose him. So who is Rich Cooper? Rich Cooper is the founder of Entrepreneurs in Cars, which he started 6 years ago. He is a self-proclaimed alpha male. As I've already stated, he is the unofficial leader of the manosphere and of the red pill community with 500,000 subscribers here. I saw 500,000 subs a month or two ago, the last time I checked his channel. Now he hid that information, I'm not sure why, but it's gone. But he's at about 500,000 subs, and those are real subs as opposed to fake subs, judging by his views. 100k in 4 days, 25k in 5 days, 127k in 2 weeks. Those subs are real with those kinds of views. He is also the owner of a private jester maxing community with 400 plus members paying $600 a year. And what's interesting is that you have to pay up front. I don't think, let me just double check that. You have to pay up front for the whole year. Yeah, per year, like a shady gym membership. You can't pay per month. He forces you to pay for the entire year up front, $600. And just a couple of weeks ago it was $350. And he claims to have 400 plus men. I believe him. 400 plus members in this community, which if you do the math quickly, that amounts to $240,000 a year, just from this alone. Not bad. But that's not enough. He is charging his simps $33.33 a minute or $2,000 an hour for dating advice. He will say, oh, it's not just dating advice. It's about business, entrepreneurship, marketing, finance. No. I will show you later on that it's almost strictly dating advice. He reveals this information in one of his videos that he says, men just seem to call me for dating advice primarily. Yeah. So he is charging his simps $2,000 an hour for dating advice. I tried to find someone else on this Clarity platform that charges as much as he does, and there's nobody. I couldn't find anybody else that charges as much as he does. Unfortunately, there's no filter that allows you to, or sort option that allows you to sort by most expensive. There's only a sort option that allows you to sort by least expensive. So perhaps there is somebody who charges more than $2,000 an hour, but I'm very skeptical about that. He creates clarity for top tier men, top shelf men. He loves to repeat that. We'll get to that later on. As if that weren't enough, though, he is also peddling soap, tactical soap, brimming with miracle Chad pheromones for $11 a bar. A 4-ounce bar, $11 for 100 grams. By comparison, the best soap in the world is made in Aleppo, Syria. 100% natural, olive oil and laurel oil in this case. And here you can buy, for $22, you can buy 3 8-ounce bars of soap. For $22. That's the equivalent, 3 8-ounce bars of soap is the equivalent of 6 bars of Rich's tactical soap. How much will 6 bars cost you if you buy a pack? $50, plus shipping, of course. Or you can buy, for $22, you can buy the best soap in the world, which is imported from Aleppo. So just imagine how many middlemen are involved in this process, and still the retail price is just $22 compared to $50 that Rich and his colleagues charge for their miracle Chad pheromone soap. So what exactly is the markup on this soap? You take a standard bar of Nivea soap, 4 ounces, it's what, $1? That's Nivea. You take No Name, and it's even less than that. And that's the retail price. There are middlemen involved there. So what exactly is the markup here? 1,000% or more? We can safely say that Rich Cooper is the Belle Delphine of the manosphere, milking his simps for all they're worth. He's even worse than Belle Delphine, because at least when Belle Delphine was selling her simps her bathwater, that was helping them have stronger orgasms, stronger coom shots. Cooming is the strongest instinct in the universe, and if something can help us, can give us stronger coom shots, can intensify our coom shots, that we can definitely say that that is some kind of return on investment. Here there is no return on investment at all. This product is completely useless. So, henceforth I will refer to Rich as Belle Cooper. I think that's a fitting name for him. So let's begin the journey and go down that rabbit hole. Rich Cooper is 46 years old. He has a 10-year-old daughter, and he is divorced. He is the owner of Total Debt Freedom, which is a debt settlement agency that preys on the low IQ, undisciplined, desperate dregs of society. They have a fake counter here, which is constantly going up, and this figure represents the amount of debt we have settled for our clients. And if you keep scrolling down, they have fake reviews from their fake testimonials from their raving fans. And how do I know it's fake? Well, I Google reverse image searched Doug from Toronto, Ontario. And look at what came up. Doug is all over the world. He's in Australia. He's somewhere else here. He's Mark Hazelwood somewhere else. Damp Proofing Association. Here he's in France somewhere. Here he's in the UK. In the UK again. Here he is in Spain. Here's Doug. Doug's a popular guy. I'm really surprised that they were so careless as to use an image that could be reverse searched in Google. Maybe they thought if they shrank it enough that nobody could find it. Well, here you go, boyos. Fake soap, fake counters, fake testimonials. What a shady business this is. This is one step up from a pawnbroker in the ghetto, or one of those payday loan establishments in the ghetto. Once again, preying on the undisciplined, low IQ dregs of society. And just to show you how little Belle Cooper thinks of his clients here, I found the channel that promotes his business, Total Debt Freedom. And what's interesting is that he's been going at it. He has been consistently updating this channel for the last 10 years. There are hundreds of videos here. And as you can see, the interest is very, very low. The ROI is very low. Nobody's interested in the topic of finance, in the topic of debt freedom. After 10 years, his videos, after a couple of months, are averaging less than 1,000 views. And that's also how you know that these 12.6 thousand subscribers, most of them are probably fake. If they were real, his videos would be averaging a couple of thousand after a week or two. Or perhaps they are real, it's just that they don't give a flying fuck about this topic. And Rich realized that the ROI here online, this is not the way to make money online. And he realized this several years into his online money-making schemes. And that's when he decided to infiltrate the Red Pill community, the manosphere, because it's populated by desperate people. And he had already been preying on desperate people for a long time. So he had a lot of experience in that field, extracting money from desperate people, desperate low IQ people. And there's nothing more desperate than a coomer, a boomer coomer who has been destroyed in divorce court, or who can hardly get laid. But he wants to get laid for free at all costs, yes. perfect market for a guy like Belle Cooper. But we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get to his infiltration of the manosphere, all in due time. For now, let me show you a little clip I found on his Total Debt Freedom channel, where he is interviewing one of his fellow shyster employees. And I want to show you this clip just to demonstrate how highly he thinks of his clientele.
Let me just pause you for a sec, just to clarify. So they had credit card debt?
Yes.
They got a consolidation loan?
Yes.
Paid down the credit card debt?
Yes.
Paid down some of the consolidation loan?
Yes.
Charged back up the credit cards to the limit?
You got it.
Still have the consolidation loan to pay?
Yes.
So they took a step forward and like 3 steps back?
At least 3.
Okay.
But
Sorry.
the credit score's good.
Sure, my credit's good.
Hand rubbing intensifies. I'm not saying they're hand rubbers, probably not. Probably not, but typical behavior of hand rubbers. And this was uploaded 4 years ago, before his infiltration of the manosphere. This is how highly they think of their clientele. And this is exactly the same sentiment Rich has towards his simp manosphere clientele. Except now he's not partnering with this guy. Oh, maybe this guy still works for him. But he's partnering with a number of other shysters, and we'll get to that as well. Let's move on to his biography here. His ex-wife divorced him as soon as she dropped an anchor baby in his wallet, meaning that she always viewed him as beta bucks, the dreaded beta bucks that all these self-proclaimed alpha males talk about. Alpha fucks beta bucks. Well, Belle Cooper's ex-wife initiated a divorce as soon as she gave birth. The divorce was finalized when he was 40, according to this short biography, and there's an interview with him as well. And it says here that he lost everything to his ex. His family was gone, his money was gone, and his business was about to be destroyed. And that's when he started Entrepreneurs in Cars as an additional source of income. His money was not completely gone, though, because he always had nice cars, and he always had a nice house. So, but he was definitely strapped for cash. If he wanted to maintain that lifestyle, he was strapped for cash after the divorce. And that's why he started Entrepreneurs in Cars as an additional source of income. So just to make things clear here, this man got married in the 21st century. What kind of an idiot? In Canada, to boot. In Canada, to boot. One of the most gynocentric, matriarchal countries in the West. What kind of man gets married in the 21st century in Canada? What kind of Western man, of course. If you're a Muslim immigrant, that's a different story. Muslim immigrant or with an arranged marriage, it's a different story. And your community is managing your woman, making sure that she behaves well. I'm talking about Western men here. What kind of Western man gets married in Canada in the 21st century? And gets fleeced in divorce court. Not only married, but married to an obvious cum dumpster, materialistic cum dumpster who did not find him attractive at all, but just wanted to drop an anchor baby in his wallet as soon as possible. And then get the fuck out of there. With as much money as possible. A simp. A desperate simp. Remember that. So going back to his channel, which he started after the divorce was finalized. Oldest. 6 years ago, when he was 40. He was going at it consistently. Entrepreneurs and cars was the idea. So, cars, excuse me, I'm getting hungry. Cars and finance. Cars and business. Those were the two topics. And he was going at it consistently. For years. For 2 years. After 2 years. Look at all these. After 2 years and about 300 videos. Constantly uploading. I'll show you something in just a second. I'm looking for it here. There are just so many videos to go through. There you go. That's what I was looking for. After all those videos that I just scrolled through. 2 years and, like I said, 2 years and 300 videos about business and cars. You know how many subscribers he had at that point? God damn it, I'm hungry. 5,000. Thank you, 5,000 subscribers. Terrible ROI, and he was well aware of that. Nobody cares about business, and the plebs don't care about business and cars. Very few people care about this stuff. This is not something that we view. This is not a lucrative market. This is not in demand. He had to find a different niche. And he did. He did. He noticed that his videos about women and dating, because he did create a couple of videos here and there about women and dating, and he noticed that those videos were getting a lot of views. Where do you find high quality women? For example. Or videos about single mothers. Single mothers. 4 reasons to date a single response. And he realized, wait a second, can long distance relationships work? He said, wait a second. My girlfriend is crazy anxious. How to deal with that? There is a market here. There is a big demand here, he thought to himself. All these blue-pilled simps come to my channel, viewing my videos, leaving comments. At that point, he realized that there is a very lucrative market out there comprised of insecure, low IQ, blue-pilled boomer coomers in desperate need of cooming and validation, willing to degrade and prostrate themselves to no end. Because as we all know, cooming is the strongest instinct in the universe. He made that realization. And Belle Cooper, being the simp king himself, understood this blue-pilled gynocentric pleb male vulnerability very well. And when I say the simp king, I already mentioned that he got married. What kind of man gets married in the 21st century in Canada? What kind of Western man gets married? A simp, of course. A desperate simp. But that's not it, boyos. That's not it. That's where the clip comes in. From the Black Pill Truth channel.
You ready for this? I've dated single mothers and had a relationship with one for 3 years. This was my experience. Assembling sheds, fixing barbecues, power washing their deck for them, fixing their closet when it falls apart, assembling bunk beds, hanging shit on the wall, installing their washer dryer in their basement. I could go on and on and on and on and on. Buying a new car. Like, oh my God. They are the least independent people I have ever met and dated. Women without children are far more independent. You know, You ready for this?
Yeah. And when I watched that video, like I said, I was reminded of an interview he did with a male porn star on his channel. But I'll get to that a little later. What does he say there? He says there that he dated single mothers. But his divorce was finalized when he was 40. So surely he didn't date these single mothers after he got divorced. He's driving fancy cars. He's an alpha male. He's successful. Okay, his ex-wife fleeced him, but he still has his business. He still has his expensive cars. He still has his nice house. He still has his alpha male attitude, yes? So surely he wasn't dating those single mothers after he got divorced. Surely those single mothers were in his life. He was dating them before he got married. And he was a low value man before he got married because he was young and he wasn't making a lot of money at that point in his life, and he was insecure about himself. He didn't know a lot about women. He didn't have a lot of experience with women, and that's why he fell prey to single mothers. Surely that's the case. Well, I wanted answers after watching that little clip. I wanted to find out whether he was dating those single mothers before or after he got divorced. Because remember, boyos, this guy is charging $2,000 an hour for dating advice. So surely this man wasn't just a couple of years ago dating and serving and financing single mothers and their bastards. Surely. Sweet Jesus Christ. Did you hear that, boyos? Simmer down, stomach. Surely. So, I had to find answers. And I found this video, again, from 4 years ago. This was one of his videos that he made before he infiltrated, the red pill community. Why men shouldn't date single mothers. And at 4:39, listen to this, boyos.
I'll give you a really good example. So I dated this woman for quite a few years that had 2 boys. And
I'm assuming this is the woman that he dated. Here he says that he had a relationship for 3 years with a single mother.
You ready for this? I've dated single mothers and had a relationship with one for 3 years.
A relationship with a single mother for 3 years. We can assume that this is the woman that he had a relationship with 2 boys. Okay?
And it happened time and time again, where she would always choose the bad behavior of the child. That might have created some discomfort for them if she had chosen the relationship over the bad behavior. But she always chose the bad behavior of the child. So we did all these trips. We went to Barbados, Spain, and France, and things like that. And we spent a lot of time together.
I was also thinking at that point, surely he's not financing those trips. Surely. Surely not only is he dating an over-the-hill single mother with 2 bastards, but don't tell me he's also financing her lavish lifestyle and her bastards. Don't tell me that.
And there was one trip that I was on early on where we were in Barbados and we had just finished playing some cards and it was almost bedtime and I started throwing the kids in the pool and we were horsing around and having a lot of fun. And then at some point, the youngest boy decided, he was about 7, that he wanted to pretend like he had injured his neck. He had a spinal injury and he wasn't going to be able to get up. Well, that triggered the older boy, who was about 10 at the time, to start yelling and
10 and 7. This woman has got to be at least 40 years old.
Calling me an idiot. He was like, "You're an idiot!" Da, 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 da. And
These boys are terrorizing him.
Went on for about, it seemed like a good 10 or 20 seconds. And I looked over at my girlfriend and she did nothing. She was kind of frozen.
The girlfriend doesn't give a flying fuck.
So I took over control of the situation, said, "Right, you 2 out of the pool.
And he's the alpha male, so he took over control of the situation.
It's time for bed. This is done. We're not going to have this conversation. This is not appropriate. Go, go, go," right? And she had never done anything to discipline, to chime in and say, this is not acceptable. You cannot do this. You cannot treat Richard like this. We need to, whatever it might have been, there's got to be some form of punishment so they understand. Take away electronics for the day, no more Minecraft, whatever it is. There's got to be something so they understand they've done something wrong. That would never happen time and time again.
I needed more answers. As I've already said, surely he was not financing those vacations. It's bad enough that he already got divorced. He already got married and divorced. So now I'm saying to myself, tell me that this guy was in this relationship with this single mother before he got married. He was dating, he was in a relationship, he was serving, gesture maxing, entertaining this single mother before he got married because maybe he had a MILF fetish or that was the best he could get. Like I said already, maybe he was insecure when he was young. He didn't have a lot of choices. He didn't have a lot of experience. So he went for a single mother, a 40-year-old single mother with 2 kids. I kept watching the clip, looking for answers, and they came. They came, boyos. The answers came.
Giving you the heads up. That is probably one of the most important things that you need to understand. The next thing that you need to know is, and I kind of touched on it, is you're going to give them a lot of your time, resources, knowledge, money. You're going to take them out for dinner. You're going to take them places, perhaps go on vacations. There was...
Listen to that one more time.
And I kind of touched on it, is you're going to give them a lot of your time, resources, knowledge, money. You're going to...
A lot of your time, resources, knowledge, money.
Take them out for dinner. You're going to take them places, perhaps go on vacations.
Take them out for dinner, go on vacations.
There was the older son of this ex of mine that asked a lot of questions about entrepreneurship and creating a business and making money. And you guys know me, if you've watched my other videos, that's pretty much what all my tips are. So I took a lot of my time and effort to walk him around the neighborhood and show him how to sell this sticker product that he put together, how to create it on Fiverr and order it and have it come in, and how to price it and how to market it and sell it and deal with objections. And it went, like you put all these efforts into somebody else's kid.
Is that not the simp king, boyos? He just admitted that he was financing the vacations, not only of his single mother cum dumpster ex-girlfriends, but of their bastards as well. Furthermore, he was giving her bastards, or their bastards, I don't know how many women there were here, how many single mothers he dated, he was giving their bastards free advice. Because he was in such desperate need of cooming. He was in such desperate need of that female validation. He was in such desperate need of belonging to a female and being able to coom in or on a female that he was doing everything in his power to keep those females around. Now he's charging his simps $2,000 an hour, $33 a minute for his advice, which he was giving out for free to the bastards of his single mother cum dumpster ex-girlfriends. Moving on, at 1330.
And these kids will also drain your resources and energy as well. I talked about that a little bit earlier on.
Again, he once again states and confirms that kids will drain your energy, and these bastards will drain your energy and your resources, or at least his energy. He allowed them to drain his energy and his resources. Now I'm saying to myself, again, did this happen before or after he got divorced? Because if it happened after he got divorced, then it happened just a couple of years ago. He was big simping just a couple of years ago. And now he's charging $2,000 an hour for dating advice. And he was big simping just yesterday for single, and not for prime cunny. Not for prime 23, 21, 20-year-old cunny, 19-year-old cunny. He was big simping for 40-year-old cum dumpster single mothers. and they're bastards. Just a couple of years ago, I said to myself, no way this happened after he got divorced. Surely this man is not that big of a simp. Surely. He's an alpha male, as he states here.
And, you know, me being firstborn alpha male, stand-up guy, virtuous, if they...
Alpha male, virtuous. Virtuous guy selling you pheromone soap for $11 in a 4-ounce bar. Virtuous guy charging you $2,000 an hour for dating advice. Where is this here? Okay. He might as well be selling you dick pills. Might as well start selling dick pills at that point. There's no difference. It's just as useless. But I still didn't have any confirmation that all this big simping was taking place after the divorce just a couple of years ago. I needed that confirmation.
We were together.
But here comes the big revelation.
With her and her kids. I know most of you guys know that I have a 6-year-old daughter, so we tried to do the blended family.
6-year-old daughter. We tried to do the blended family
thing and spend time together.
There you go. And there's the confirmation that this happened well after his divorce. 4 years ago, his daughter was 6. Today, she's 10. So, at this point in his life, he's talking about it like it just happened the other day. As you all know, I have a 6-year-old daughter. So we tried to do the blended family. He was 42 here, with a 6-year-old daughter. So he was dating, serving, financing, entertaining these single mother cum dumpsters and their bastard spawn in his early 40s just a couple of years ago. And today he is charging $2,000 an hour for dating advice. And now we get to the interview with the porn star, with the male porn star. And the part that really stuck with me, and that I immediately remembered after watching this clip, where he's admitting that he was in relationships with single mothers. Not just in relationships, but toxic relationships where he is doing everything. And by the way, who does he remind you of here? I'll tell you who he reminds me of. Neil Strauss, the original shyster, the OG of PUA and game and all that other nonsense. They look like twins, actually. But I have to say that he did a very good job of mogmaxing, because he hopped on TRT, grew a beard, and now he looks pretty good for an old guy. But remove the mask, remove the beard, and you have a recessed chin, Neil Strauss look-alike. All right, here is the interview. See, look at that transformation. From this to this. Two different men. Beards save lives, boyos. I don't have a recessed chin, but I am very bloated, so beards do save lives. And TRT saves lives as well. This guy, thanks to TRT and his beard, was able to develop a very, very huge following of simps. They all want to be like him, because he looks pretty good. He looks masculine. Just looks. Because we all know now that he is just a huge blue-pilled simp, in constant need of validation from females, even if they are cum dumpster single mothers. You would think that after the divorce he would start fucking just whore-maxing. But it's not for him. He's too insecure in his masculinity. His self-worth revolves entirely around women and what women think of him and being seen in public with women. And getting pussy for free at all costs. Let me play this clip. Now this was in May, so this was not that, half a year ago. This was half a year ago. Before I play this clip, let's just frame everything that has happened here. This was in May of this year, so half a year ago. Only 4 years before this interview, he was in a relationship with a single mother, as he stated here, and her bastards, and he was entertaining her, serving her, financing her, and her bastards. It's important. Just 4 years before this interview. Let's play it.
Let's keep going. So, as far as why you love this more than anything,
and one more thing. This is Sterling Cooper. He is 33 years old in this interview. He's a male porn star. He got into porn, into mainstream porn, when he was 30 years old. So he's a young man here. He's only 33, compared to Rich, who is 46. And again, he got into mainstream porn when he was 30. So, a very young age for a man. Very nice age to have unlimited access to slave pussy. To have unlimited raw dog access to slave pussy. Slave pussy. Emphasis on the word slave and raw dog.
you ever done? Aside from the obvious, I mean, there's got to be some other things beyond just being able to sleep with beautiful women. Because I mean, anybody with looks money status, that has their shit sorted, that's a high value man, can really have access to as many women as he wants. Yeah.
Yeah. And that really rubbed me the wrong way. And now it rubs me the wrong way even more after I've learned about Rich's personal life. After I've learned that just a couple of years before this interview, he was big simping for his single mother cum dumpster and her bastards. I can't stress that enough. I will keep repeating that because that is such a black-pilled revelation here, and it just shows what kind of shyster he really is, that I will keep repeating this throughout the entire video. Just 4 years before this interview, he was big simping for a single mother over the hill, single mother cum dumpster and her two bastards, or several single mother cum dumpsters. He talked about several single mothers, in fact. That's how desperate he was. That's how low value he was. Just a couple of years ago. And now, in his 40s, and before that, he got married in Canada in the 21st century. That's how desperate he was to have a woman, to have sex with a woman. That he took such drastic steps, such drastic measures, just to have access to females. He degraded himself, prostrated himself. Gesture maxed to no end, just to have access to some toxic, and not slave cunny, boyos, not slave cunny. Just to have access to some 30+ toxic, feminist, belligerent cunts. And now, just a couple of years later, after his big simping downfalls, he is dismissing this young man's access, raw dog access to unlimited, essentially unlimited, prime white cunny. Because this is the part he's playing now. It's just he seems to have forgotten that he divulged information here and there that could expose him if you put two and two together. But his hordes of sycophants, his hordes of simps, are too low IQ, or they're just too blind at this point to put two and two together. He dismisses this young man's access, raw dog access. I keep forgetting that raw dog, that's very important, to unlimited prime white slave cunny. A toxic feminist slave cunny. Slave cunny. Obedient slave cunny. He goes to the set, bangs the cunny serves him, then he goes home. Never has to speak to the cunny. Again, doesn't have to speak to the cunny at all, in fact. Meanwhile, this guy's big simping for cum dumpsters and their bastards, financing vacations, traveling around the world with them, fixing sheds, power washing the deck, fixing cars, doing this, doing that, playing with their kids. And just 3 years later now, because he's the leader of the manosphere now, and he's charging thousands of dollars per hour for dating advice, now he has to play the role of an alpha male that gets unlimited pussy. I guarantee you he's big simping behind the scenes to this day. Let me play that one more time. Because it is
not a sexy name.
Yeah, that's fine. You can keep it as a barrel name, that has her ever done. Aside from the obvious, I mean, there's got to be something. Anybody that was making barrels was known as Coopers, believe it or not. But let's keep going. So, as far as why you love this more than anything that you've ever done, aside from the obvious, I mean, there's got to be some other things beyond just being able to sleep with beautiful women. Because I mean, anybody with looks, money, status, that has their shit sorted, that's a high value man, can really have access to as many women as he wants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, just a couple of years ago, Rich was already fairly successful. He was driving nice cars. He was alpha. He had a nice house. And the best he could do is 35, 40-year-old cum dumpster single mothers. And now he's playing off this young man's access to slave cunny as if it's nothing. Because that is the part he is playing for his army of simps. So let's get back to his channel development. 2 years and 300 videos in, he only had 5,000 subscribers. But at this point, he was already aware of the red pill simp market. And I say red pill because it's actually just as blue-pilled as the blue pill world, because the entire community revolves around being a gynocentric, neurotic gesture maxer who validates, entertains, serves, and desperately tries to understand women. Remember that, a gynocentric, neurotic gesture maxer, as opposed to a masculine, androcentric whore maxer who simply pays women to shut up and drain his balls. That's the real dichotomy, not alpha beta. But gynocentric neurotic gynocentric neurotic gesture maxer and masculine androcentric whore maxer. After discovering the red pill community and the red pill simp market, he learned about Rollo Tomassi, one of the godfathers of the red pill. The other two godfathers being Royce and Roosh V. But Roosh V took the god pill and removed all of his publications, all of his PUA material. He took the god pill about 2 years ago. 3 years ago. I think 2. And he removed all of his PUA material from circulation. And Royce published everything for free on a simple WordPress blog. And then that was deleted and he disappeared. Now he reappeared as Heartiste in book format. He compiled all of his best blog posts. After many years, he was gone for many years. He reappeared recently, and he compiled all of his best blog posts into a book, which is available on Amazon. But he just reappeared recently. And he is nowhere near, at this point, he is nowhere near as influential as Rollo Tomassi or anyone else in the Red Pill community, because he was gone for so long. But everybody pilfered his work because his work was fantastic, which he wrote altruistically. Again, he published it all for free. I don't think he even had a donate button on his WordPress blog. But a couple of years ago, Rollo Tomassi was definitely the most influential figure in the Red Pill community. And he had a couple of books published, The Rational Male being the main one. I think it's a 2-volume series. And only Rollo carried a tremendous amount of clout and respect in the community at that point. So Belle Delphine entered into a partnership with Rollo and started diligently leeching his clout and building his own exclusive brand of red pill masculinity. But as you can see here, 5,000 subs, and just a year later, boom. Here he's already talking about hypergamy, which is heavily covered in Rollo Tomassi's books. And here he says that he has taken the red pill. This is his debut. He's a debutante here. And this is his big debut in the red pill community. Let's check that out. And what's interesting here, listen to this.
As men living in, the modern world. It's January 2017. I'm 43 years old, and quite literally, it's only been like the last few months that I've really opened my eyes to the way the world works, to the feminine imperative. And
just 3 years ago, at the age of 43, that's when he opened his eyes to the way the world works. He was a very humble man here. And you know why he was so humble? Because he had no clout in the red pill community. He was an outsider. He was a newcomer. And he was very humble, very modest. And has that ever changed? I will play you some clips in a minute or in 10 to show you how it has changed. He went from, and again, look, at the age of 43 here, he admits that he just understood how the world works. After reading The Rational Male by Rollo Tomassi. 3 years later, he is charging $2,000 an hour for dating advice. So these are his humble beginnings in the red pill community. Finally, the apprentice overtook the master and is now the undisputed leader of the manosphere with more clout than all of them combined. The master being Rollo, the apprentice being Rich Cooper, Belle Cooper. He went from treating Rollo with a lot of reverence. Observe.
Is that my brothers from another mother? In today's Skype call, I'm actually on with...
This was the first time he had a call with Rollo, an interview with Rollo, a stream with Rollo. The first time.
You can see on my screen Rollo Tomassi, and you guys know that I've recommended his book a number of times in my videos. So I'm very grateful that he's taken some time out of his day today to have a chat with me. He's also a car guy, which is kind of cool.
So he, because Rollo has more clout and more respect, significantly more clout and more respect in the community at this point, Belle Cooper is treating him with the utmost reverence. Fast forward to today, or a month or two ago, and this is how he is treating him. Now this is this is a clip I found on that Black Pill Truth channel that started this whole video. And this is a debate with Face and LMS. The whole panel of Red Pill Manosphere shysters allowed Face and LMS. Face and LMS is the unofficial leader of the Black Pill community, at least on YouTube. And they allowed him to call in to debate them. Now this is the middle of the debate here. This is already the middle of the debate. And all these other guys had already spoken. At length, some of them. And Rich didn't interrupt any of them. Finally, it was Rollo's time to speak. And 1 minute into his argument, his speech, whatever he was saying, this is what happens. So he's making a point here. It's his turn to finally make a point, make an argument, speak to Face and LMS.
And everything else, he's dressed in a way that is incongruent with what women would expect from a guy that looks like that.
I have a question for Face.
And Rich just doesn't give a fuck. He just cuts him off. He just starts speaking over him. Watch.
It's not LMS.
You can fix the physique. You can go in and you can do tren all day long. You can go and get all the surgeries in the world. Guess what? You're not going to fix what's up here by fixing what's right here.
Exactly. Troy, can you drop that in the stream for me?
Socialize if you don't have that acculturation, if you don't have the...
Yeah, hold on. Where's it?
You know what? People are pissed off that we're charging money for all this kind of
Where
stuff.
did he go?
I don't know.
Where'd he go? He's gone?
So as you can see, Rich is constantly talking over Rollo here. And Rollo keeps going. He's trying to make a point. He's not allowing Rich to interrupt him. He's going forward for now.
I got booted too. I don't know why, but
Okay.
And he even responds to Rich. I got booted too. I don't know why. Instead of telling Rich, hold on, Rich, I'm making a point here. Wait a minute. He's falling into Rich's frame. These men are so upset. Oh, I see. I can make it even bigger. I didn't know that. Anyway, he's falling into Rich's frame. Oh, I got booted too. I don't know why. Instead of saying, listen, Rich, 1 second.
right here.
Troy, can you drop that in the stream for me?
Socialize if you don't have that acculturation, if you don't have the...
Yeah, hold on. Where's it?
You know what? People are pissed off that we're charging money for all this kind of
Where
stuff.
did he go?
I don't know.
Where'd he go? He's gone?
I got booted too. I don't know why, but
Okay.
So
Is he still in the waiting area? Can you...
There you go. Rich just completely cuts him off. And look at the body language. Look at the way he is grinding. Rollo is grinding his teeth. Absolutely zero respect shown to Rollo by Rich Cooper, by the apprentice shown to the master. Why? Because Rich Cooper doesn't really need Rollo anymore. He doesn't need him. Rich Cooper is the boss now. He is the alpha. He is the king of the manosphere. He can interrupt whoever he wants. Watch the body language.
Okay.
So
Is he still in the waiting area? Can you pull him back in? Because I want Face and LMS to explain.
Oh, come on,
Sean-
he's religiously
Sean
watching this
Stevenson
shit.
to me.
He's watching this.
Okay,
Right.
Face, can you please explain Sean Stevenson and Mindy Kniss to me?
Again.
So you're saying
Where'd he go? He's gone?
I got booted too. I don't know why, but
Okay.
So
Is he still in the waiting area? Can you pull him back in? Because I want Face and LMS to
Oh,
explain.
come on,
Sean-
he's religiously
Sean
watching this shit.
Stevenson to me.
Rollo just got amogged by his apprentice. Zero respect. There is zero respect in this community. Rich shows zero respect to other men in this community. Why? Because he doesn't need them anymore. He has all the clout now. They need him. Rollo goes silent. If you watch the rest of this interview, which you should, it's interesting. Debate. Rollo goes silent for the rest of the debate, and in the middle, a couple of minutes later, he leaves. He's gone. At this point, he's gone and he doesn't come back. After he was cut off by Rich, he didn't say anything else, and then finally he just disappeared from the debate. He just logged off. That's how pissed off he was. I would be pissed off too. That's really disrespectful. There's no need to amog each other. There's no need to be douchebags towards each other, to disrespect each other. But that's the problem with this alpha-beta dichotomy. Now every insecure punk is analyzing his every little interaction and his every little movement and questioning, oh, was that beta or was that alpha? Was I alpha? And they're all trying to be alpha, and they're all trying to amog each other. Instead of just showing common decency, common respect. So let's go back to the Black Pill Truth channel. And I will play now the other two clips that sent me down this rabbit hole to begin with. The first one is where Rich Cooper, aka Belle Cooper, gets called out by a caller for being a grifter.
On the head. It's
for charging men $25 a minute. Now this was 2 months ago. This was less than, let's say this was 2 months ago. This whole debate here. Because this is actually from the same stream where Face and LMS was debating them. I'm assuming that was about 2 months ago. And a viewer calls in and calls Rich a grifter.
It's not an ideology, it's praxeology. With that being said, nobody really can call in and complain. But my number one complaint with some of the people there is Rich Cooper is a grifter. He's been a grifter since day one.
Okay, so let me address my hater. What makes me a grifter? Please explain. Go.
All right, so a little bit of backstory.
What makes me a grifter? With his tactical soap brimming with Chad Miracle pheromones resting in the back there for $11 a bar, 1,000% markup. What makes me a grifter?
Started watching your show when it was just the entrepreneur type content. Then it started shifting, and I still watched a lot of the videos. And then you would say, and correct, and I'm sorry if I don't have it written down, so I hope I don't mess it up. But you said something along the lines of, don't do something unless it's going to pay dividends down the road. And so you started going on Clarity, and it's like Clarity is not...
Now, Clarity, again, is that platform where people can pay you for your advice, for consultations.
Not a way to create dividends. And then your thing went from like $12 a minute to like...
$12 a minute. I remember when Rich was charging $12 a minute. And even then, people were criticizing him. That's $600 an hour.
$25 a minute, which...
At that point, 2 months ago, it was $25 a minute. Today, it's $33.33 a minute. Again, he's the Belle Delphine of the manosphere. He is just pushing his simps to the limit. He wants to see how much more he can milk them for. It's just like the bankers and the politicians when they are milking the plebs, milking the wage-slaving plebs, raising the taxes, seeing what they can get away with. This is the exact same thing.
I just found just amusing,
Okay.
Okay, now here Rich gives him an answer, and this is the answer. This is the answer.
Can't afford your time. See, I don't focus on the bottom of the barrel.
He doesn't focus on the bottom of the barrel.
The guys that I'm coaching, the guys that I'm doing one-on-one consults with, they're entrepreneurs, they're airline pilots, they're lawyers, they're doctors. The reasons why I collab with those people is because when I'm doing $12 an hour call.
Now here he says $12 an hour, but he either made this mistake intentionally or by accident. He either misspoke intentionally or by accident. I think he misspoke intentionally, because if he said $12 a minute, that would sound ridiculous, because that's $600 an hour. But that's what he was charging, and he never charged $12 an hour. He was charging $12 a minute, and that's what he should refer to, because that's what the caller was referring to, his rate of $12 a minute. So
doing $12 an hour call, the kind of guys that I was talking to were like you, and I don't want to waste my time talking with basic people. Okay,
so if you can only afford to pay this man $600 an hour for dating advice, you're a basic person. You're bottom of the barrel. So imagine how he feels about the guys who are paying him $600 a year for this yearly membership. If guys who were paying him $600 an hour were bottom of the barrel basic men, then this is the scum of the earth. But the bottom of the barrel is already the scum. The scum rests at the bottom, so who the hell are these guys to Rich in that case? That's who.
That's a fact of life. You need to charge for what you're worth, and that's why people pay it. You can't. I'm coaching. The guys that I'm doing one-on-one consults with, they're entrepreneurs, they're airline pilots, they're lawyers, they're doctors. The reasons why I collab with those people is because when I'm doing $12...
And that's a whole load of bullshit. Nobody's calling him for business advice. Or maybe 2% of his callers and of the people in his community are there for business advice. As I have already shown, his channel got 5,000 subscriptions in the first 2 years and the first 300 videos, which were dedicated to business, finance, and cars. Nobody gives a fuck about business, finance, and cars. Furthermore, what the hell could he teach millionaires about running a business? He is selling tactical soap. He is selling dick pills. He is fleecing simps. What kind of a doctor or lawyer is calling in to ask him for advice? I'll tell you what, if I had a doctor and I found out that he is paying Rich $2,000 an hour to get his advice, the king simp here, who was simping just 2 years ago, 3 years ago for single mother cum dumpsters, and who was selling tactical dick pills, I would end my cooperation with that doctor immediately. With anyone, for that matter, immediately. And he's constantly talking about top shelf men and top tier entrepreneurs. Well, fake testimonials. Fake counters, fake alpha male with unlimited access to pussy, fake soap, fake dick pills, fake everything. Let's. You want to know what kind of top shelf men Rich is dealing with? What kind of top tier entrepreneurs are calling him? Don't take his word for it. Take a look at who his colleagues are. Take a look at who his business partners are. The other men sitting on this panel of red pill shysters. Let's take a look at this guy. This is his business colleague. This is his colleague. This is his business partner.
I'll smack the fucking taste out your mouth, bro.
I swear to God you wouldn't.
I'll smack the fuck out you, man. God,
Actually, both of them are his business partners.
if I saw you in person, show your face on camera right now, bro, I'd smack the fucking taste out your mouth,
Hey,
dog.
you gonna see me one day. The world's small. Hey, bro.
This is your top tier. This is his business partner. This is not a client. This guy is not paying him $2,000 an hour to talk to him. Rich is talking to this guy for free. Rich is spending time with this guy for free. I wouldn't spend a minute with this guy even if he was paying me $2,000 an hour. Meanwhile, Rich is spending time with this man for free. Or maybe this guy. Let's show you this guy and how he behaves.
Thanks, great. Reasons.
What they want, probably talk.
Earn your right to speak, okay? And
Then you don't want.
shut the fuck up and let me educate your uneducated ass.
This is that other guy, by the way, that I just showed you a second ago.
Because you don't have to earn your right to speak, okay? And you haven't earned your fucking right to speak because you don't know what you're talking about. There's a guy watching. Shut up.
Okay, that is Rich's top tier business partner, top shelf men. These are Rich's top shelf men. Here he is.
Had his own fashionable edge. I obviously dress the way I am right now. Like, people just think like, oh, you know, MLD dresses like this because he's a YouTuber or whatever. But no, I've always been dressing flashy, right? Because I've always been a pimp, you know? It's an outward expression of your...
Hey, this is Jonathan, and welcome to Modern Life Dating. Title of today's video is Player or Lover. Now,
Used car salesman shysters, dick pill shysters, snake soap shysters. These are Rich's top shelf men. These are Rich's top tier entrepreneurs. Yeah. Birds of a feather flock together. These are not Rich's clients. These men are not paying Rich to talk to them. They are talking to Rich for free. Meanwhile, Rich's simps are paying him $33.33 a minute to speak to him, to have the privilege of speaking to him, asking him for dating advice. If you're going through a divorce, a top senior family lawyer will charge you maximum $700 an hour for a consultation. If you have debt problems, you can get a free consultation at Rich's company. $2,000 an hour, boyos. One of the top plastic surgeons in California, in Los Angeles, Barrett, I believe, I checked this, charges $500 for a consultation. $500 with a top plastic surgeon. That's overhead costs, boyos. He has a clinic. He has staff. Plus, he has years and years of practical experience in one of the most stressful work environments there is, the operating room. And he is charging $500 for a consultation, which could take up to 1 hour. Meanwhile, Rich, when you're calling him, he has no overhead costs. This is pure profit for him. Zero overhead. And just 3 years ago, he was big simping for single mother cum dumpsters. So what kind of experience does he have? So how many years of experience does he have as an alpha male? How many? What, 1, 2, 3? That's it? 3 years of experience as an alpha male? And if he tries to tell you, if he tries to say, oh, I've got C-level executives calling me for advice. Most people who call me for advice are businessmen. We're talking business here. No. First of all, I did the research.
So anything to do with money, making money, managing money, parenting, and self-care. So if I were to click on the dating link, for example, which seems to be a big driving force for a lot of you guys still chasing tail.
Dating, he just states himself, he's describing his community, how to join his men's community. Dating, which seems to be a big driving force for a lot of you guys. That's the most popular section of his men's community, dating. Then he goes on to say about his one-on-one consulting.
And then, of course, there's one-on-one coaching over here, which is basically everything included from the basic tier, but you also get one-on-one time with me monthly. So if you're struggling with something, it's at a discounted rate off the Clarity platform. If you're struggling with something, most guys seem to book me still for women chasing tail. They want to vet for a marriage, or they're having trouble getting over one-itis. that's fine. You know, we can have those conversations. It might take a few months to help un-F your life, but I'll certainly get you to the point where you're going to get a ton of value off it. Join the wait list right now if you're watching this and it's not.
And by the way, he published this 20 days ago. It was $380 per year. Now he raised it to $600 per year. He removed and he changed this around. He started this tier, $2,000 for business startup membership. That's something new. And what is full? And Entrepreneurs Brotherhood. Before it was Business Growth Membership, it was full. Now it's Entrepreneurs Brotherhood. That's full. And I'm sure it's just a shyster brotherhood. It's filled with these gesture-maxing, despicable gesture-maxing shysters whose self-worth revolves entirely around the validation they get from sleuths. They are milking simps, so they in turn can be milked by sleuths. You can't make this up, boyos. You can't make this up. So his Entrepreneurs Brotherhood joined the exclusive community of entrepreneurs seeking excellence and optimization in all aspects of their lives. That's right. Sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds just about as good as the raving fan here, testimonial of Doug. And just the very fact that he sells this tactical goddamn soap should immediately disqualify him. As anyone that could give any advice to top-tier entrepreneurs and top-shelf men. What kind of... He's a scoundrel. He's a grifter. A grifter is the perfect word for him. That's the lowest... You know, if he was desperate for money, if he was hard up for money, I could understand that. If you're a young guy, you're a wage-slaving pleb, you've got nothing going for you, I can understand trying to sell tactical soap, trying to sell dick pills, trying to break free of that 9-to-5 grind, trying to set yourself free. I can understand that. But Rich was never truly hard up. And even if he was hard up after that divorce, he's not hard up anymore. He's very far from it. And he is still peddling this goddamn soap. That is as ignoble as it gets. That is as despicable, lowly as it gets. There is absolutely no justification for this kind of behavior at this point in his life. I watch other podcasts, up-and-coming podcasts, like, for example, Michael Bisping's podcast. Michael Bisping is a former UFC champion. He's retired now. He's a commentator for the UFC from time to time, and he has a podcast called Believe You Me. And just like a lot of other MMA podcasts, he has sponsors. But he has sponsors like The Ridge Wallet, Manscaped, Blue Chew. These things work. The Ridge Wallet, it's a nice little sexy wallet, practical. Blue Chew, that's Viagra, generic Viagra. You don't need prescription for that. Manscaped, hair clipper. You're paying a premium for it, but maybe it's a good product. All of these things do something. They actually work. They're practical. And they're not that overpriced. The profit margin on them is not 1,000%. And that's why Rich is peddling this goddamn soap. Because he can't get 1,000% profit on Blue Chew, on Manscaped, on... what else was there? Blue Chew, Manscaped, Ridge Wallet. No, nothing else will give him that kind of profit. He's a shyster. So call him for his advice. Ask him, how do I make money, Rich? You think he'll tell you the truth? Listen, find a niche of very desperate men and then just milk them for all they're worth. Scam them. Like I did. Like I'm doing. Live community Q&A. There are not many of these on his channel. I suppose he prefers to keep them private. But this was amusing. This guy called in. He's my age, 37, 38. And he called in asking Rich, and he's a member of Rich's community of top-tier men. He called in asking Rich for dating advice. Because he's dating women who are 28 to 35 right now, and they're all trying to get pregnant with him. Because he's a veterinarian and a university teacher. So he makes decent money for Mexican standards. He lives in Mexico City. And these, well, middle-aged women, because 30 plus for a woman is middle-aged, 40 plus for a man is middle-aged. So these middle-aged women that he's dating, they're all desperate and they all want to get pregnant and drop an anchor baby in his wallet. So he's extremely paranoid. And he's throwing out the condoms, he's flushing the condoms down the toilet. And he's only using condoms. He's not even going raw dog. That's how paranoid he is. Forget about going raw dog. He's so paranoid that he is supervising the disposal of the condoms after the sex. So not only is he banging over-the-hill women, but he's not even going raw dog. And he's asking Rich, what should I do? And you know what Rich tells him? Why don't you go for women under the age of 25? Go on Tinder, set your age range 18 to 24, and there's your solution. Look at this guy. Go on Tinder, set your age range to 18 to 24, and those are the only women you should be dating. This is Rich's advice to him. And he says this with a straight face. This is the guy who was big simping all his life for single mother cum dumpsters, over-the-hill single mother cum dumpsters, and who got married to some over-the-hill cum dumpster. Now he's saying with a straight face, set your Tinder profile, set your Tinder age range to 18 to 24. This bald cell, old cell, fat cell. Oh yeah, I'm sure he will have no problem meeting women under the age of 25 on Tinder. But you know what he says? He can't do that. Not because it will be difficult. He can never. This is the cult. The cult will never admit, oh, it's difficult. Oh, it's difficult because look at me. I'm old and I'm ugly. This is the cult of game. Everyone in this cult is an alpha. Nothing is impossible with women here. Looks don't matter. It's all about game. So if you have game, the women are yours. Even on Tinder, game is the only thing that matters. Go on Tinder, old cell, bald cell, fat cell. Set your age range to 18 to 24. There's your solution. He's basically sending him into Mordor, an emotional Mordor, a psychological Mordor. But he says, no, I can't do that because my students are under 25 and I don't want my students to see me on Tinder. So he's paranoid. He lives in a gynocentric society. Less gynocentric than America because at least Mexico is brimming with prostitutes. But for some reason he doesn't want to go to prostitutes. He doesn't want to have sugar babies. He can afford sugar babies. He's a veterinary doctor. He can afford sugar babies, but for some reason he doesn't want to. Why? Because he's a cult. He's a member of the cult of game. The only dating advice Belle Cooper should give this man is, why don't you whoremax, dude? Just whoremax. Get some sugar babies, and they will only be 18 to 21. Forget about everything else. You're making decent money. You're a free man. Whoremax, and you'll be banging prime cunny all the time, prime slave cunny all the time. And you won't have to be paranoid about some woman dropping an anchor baby in your wallet. The only advice Rich should give this man, Belle should give this man, is not to gesture max, not to simp at all, not to validate sleuths outside of business and sex, but to whoremax, and only whoremax. But he knows that's not what his blue-pilled gynocentric gesture-maxing pussy for free at all costs wannabe alpha simp audience wants to hear. And he knows that it sure as hell won't get him those $2,000 an hour consultation calls. This is the cult of game. It's a cult, boyos. Just like Scientology. Scientology is a very fucking expensive cult. And this is how he sells it. If you're a top tier man, if you're a top shelf man, you can join my cult. Don't complain about the price, because only bottom of the barrel basic losers complain about the price. If you can't afford it, you're bottom of the barrel. If you can only afford $600 an hour for a consultation call, you're bottom of the barrel. That's how cults work, boys. That's how simps work too. You think simps are complaining when they donate thousands or hundreds to Belle Delphine or any other thought that gives them almost nothing in return? I mean, all those thoughts that are streaming on Twitch fully clothed, and when the simps donate to them constantly for nothing, you think they complain that they're not getting their money's worth? No, they donate and they sing the praises of these thoughts. Same thing with these simps. They donate to shysters like Belle Cooper here, and then they sing their praises. You read the reviews here, and they're all positive except for one. One says it like it is. I paid $600 for a 20-minute call, and all I got was the same regurgitated advice that Rich offers for free on his channel. But all the other reviews were positive. Why? Because it's simps singing the praises of their precious thought, of their precious king, in this case, queen, king, of their precious Belle Delphine. The cult of game. The cult of pussy for free. At all costs.
And be alpha. You've got
stupid.
No.
You're fucking stupid, and you don't know what you're talking about. My advice is summed up because everybody on this panel has fucking echoed it. Make money, make muscles, learn game. If you
make money, okay. Make muscles, Mogmax, yes. Learn game. Oh, yes. The cult of game. Make money, Mogmax, Whoremax. But then they've got nothing to sell you, boyos. And let me show you their mascot. This guy is their, I'm going to show you right now their mascot. Okay? One of their raving fans, one of their testimonials.
You sneaky rat. What percentage of shut up. What Troy, he's done. Throw out everybody from the studio and bring in Josh, and let's just
bring in Josh the mascot.
We're not even going to say anything. We'll just let Josh do the fucking talking for us.
I weigh 320 pounds, and I'm always fucking sitting. Like, I'm not a fucking adult.
I weigh 320 pounds. He's paralyzed from the neck down, and he's always fucking titty.
Honest. Like, I fucking get that. But I'm with 3 women right now, and I'm 38, and yeah, I don't fucking look it. I'm with a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old, and I just have a 30-year-old to my rotation.
Josh, you're a goddamn legend.
Oh my goodness, boyos. Jupiter's cock. If you believe this, boyos, I've got some tactical soap to sell you for $11 a bar. Josh the mascot here. Do I have him? Here he is, Josh. $138 followers, 251 following, future YouTube and Twitch streamer extraordinaire. This 38-year-old man who is paralyzed from the neck down is undoubtedly fucking 3 young bitches. If he can do it, and this is how the cult, how the legend of game is perpetuated. If Josh can do it, and they believe him, of course, then there's no reason anyone else can't do it. And if you can't do it, that means you just don't know game. And they're there to teach you. You know what? If Josh went on there and said, I got 1 whore a week coming to my home, servicing my cock. I pay her to service my cock, and then she goes home. I don't even have to talk to her. And that takes place 3 times a month, 3 different whores, young, prime whores. And I'm satisfied, and I don't have to waste my time gesture maxing. I don't have to waste my time learning about women and understanding women and entertaining women and satisfying women and pleasing women. I don't need to waste my time on any of that nonsense. I pay the whores to service me like a masculine, androcentric whore maxer. They drain my balls, and I get on with my life. You think he would be a legend then? You think they would describe him as a legend then? Absolutely not. They wouldn't even invite him to the goddamn stream. I should hope that Belle Cooper finally became secure enough in his masculinity and self-worth as a man after all these years and all these gesture-maxing hardships with toxic cum-dumpster wives and ex-wives and single mothers, that he finally started whore-maxing in his private life. And now he and his shyster colleagues are just milking the pleb simps for all their hard-earned, wage-slaving nickels and dimes. But I doubt it. I doubt it, boyos. I think they're fleecing their simps only to get fleeced by sleuths, whose validation their fragile blue-pilled hearts and egos so desperately need. Make money, boyos. Make muscle, boyos. And fuck whores, boyos. Looks Maximus, signing out.